Today, we're uncovering the fascinating stories and surprising truths from Malcolm Gladwell's best-selling book, Outliers, The Story of Success. Have you ever wondered what sets the world's top performers apart from the rest? Is it talent, hard work, or something more? Stay with us as we explore the hidden factors that create outliers, from the 10,000-hour rule to the impact of cultural legacies. Trust me, you won't want to miss a single insight from this eye-opening journey. Who is an outlier? Outliers are those individuals who stand out from the rest. They are not part of the crowd. They are unique and exceptional. These are the people who reach the pinnacle of success: geniuses, athletes, rock stars, business tycoons, and billionaires. But what is their secret? We often admire successful people. Stories of rising from rags to riches inspire us. We want to know many things about such people: their lifestyle, how they live, their personality, and whether they possess any special talents. These questions often arise in our minds. We tend to think that they are successful because of some unique qualities they possess. But the reality is different, something we often fail to see. This book will teach us things that reveal where our thinking about success is flawed. We usually believe that success is purely personal, that successful people achieved everything solely on their own, and that their success is due to their capabilities alone. But is talent alone enough? What about upbringing? What about the people behind their success? What about the society and culture they belong to? By reading the stories of these outliers, we will seek answers to these questions and try to understand success from a new perspective. Canadian hockey. Hockey is a popular sport in Canada. Boys start learning it as early as kindergarten. Every year, there are hockey leagues in schools. But how do they select the best players for their national team? Interestingly, most of the best hockey players are born between January and March. How does this happen? The secret is that hockey coaches tend to choose the oldest boys in the class. For instance, if a boy is born in December, he is less likely to be selected for the team. Older boys are physically stronger, so they are chosen. A few months' age gap can make a significant difference in a boy's physical development. Boys aged 9 to 10 are selected based on this criterion. The older boys receive coaching, and they practice 3 times more than others. By the time they reach their teens, they have become experts in hockey. They are then sent to play in major leagues. This selection process applies to other sports as well. Age difference plays a crucial role even in the Olympics. Talented children born in the latter half of the year often go unnoticed. Younger children do not receive as much encouragement in sports as they should. However, if they receive equal support and opportunities, their talent can also shine. They too could become successful athletes. Canada's national hockey team became outliers due to this coincidence. It happened because their players were born earlier and were physically stronger. They were given opportunities to succeed, and one opportunity led to another. Our society tends to give more chances to those who are already successful. Every door opens for them, elevating their status even further. On the other hand, those who fail are often dismissed by society. This is how we perceive success. We see personal achievement as everything. We rarely consider whom we are giving opportunities to and whom we are not, and this plays a significant role in achieving success. 10,000 hours. When you become an expert in something, you stop practicing because you no longer feel the need for it. In 1990, a study was conducted at the Berlin Academy of Music, where a group of psychologists aimed to determine how important practice and talent are for success. Do violinists excel solely because of their talent, or is it the result of their practice? The psychologists found that the more time students spent practicing, the better they played the violin. As children grew older, they devoted more time to practice. By the age of 20, the best violinists had accumulated 10,000 hours of practice. The same study was conducted with pianists. Amateur pianists had only practiced for 2,000 hours in their childhood, while professionals increased their practice time each year. By the time they reached 20, they had practiced for a total of 10,000 hours. The psychologists discovered that there was no such thing as natural talent alone. No musician became the best without extensive practice. To become world-class in any field, you need to practice for at least 10,000 hours. This magical number has been proven in other studies as well. Whether musicians, athletes, writers, or criminal masterminds, everyone needs 10,000 hours of practice to reach the top. It seems our brains require 10,000 hours to master and excel in any field. However, not everyone can spend 10,000 hours practicing. Achieving this on your own is nearly impossible. When you are young, your parents need to be supportive. As you grow older, you need ample free time. If you are poor and forced to work, you won't have enough time to practice. Therefore, accumulating 10,000 hours of practice is a rare opportunity. Take Bill Gates as an example. He started programming in the 8th grade. This was a unique opportunity for him because it was the 1960s. At that time, only wealthy people had computers. Bill Gates' father was a lawyer, and his mother came from a wealthy family. They enrolled Bill Gates in Lakeside, an elite school in Seattle, which was one of the few schools with a computer club in 1968. From the 8th grade through high school, Bill Gates continuously practiced programming. By the time Bill Gates left college to start Microsoft, he had practiced computer programming for more than 10,000 hours. He was a brilliant programmer and entrepreneur, but he also had the unique opportunity. As Gates himself says, "I was very lucky." To become an outlier, you need a special opportunity. You need a lucky break to prove yourself. If you have extraordinary talent, you also need an extraordinary opportunity. The Beatles. Look up. Take a glance at that man who once had nothing. No family, no support. But today, whatever he is, he has achieved it all by himself. These words were spoken by Robert Winthrop while unveiling the statue of Benjamin Franklin. But are outliers really like this? We get obsessed with reading the autobiographies of successful people because their lives often start in very humble circumstances. Yet, they face all the challenges and achieve success because they have some special quality. What we fail to see behind their success is the opportunity. Benjamin Franklin, for example, had many opportunities and advantages. The success of outliers is also attributed to their parents and their community. In a way, they owe a debt to their culture and the legacy of their ancestors. If we want to understand how a person becomes successful, it is not enough to know only their qualities. We also need to know when and where they were born and raised. Take the Beatles, for instance. Before becoming popular, they had a unique opportunity in Hamburg, Germany, in 1960. At that time, the Beatles were just a high school band. Hamburg had numerous strip clubs back then, and to attract more customers, rock bands were in high demand. There was a club named Bruno, where many bands from Liverpool, England, were invited. The club owner, Philip Norman, wanted a band that would play continuously for hours. As John Lennon described his experience in Hamburg, we were getting better and better and more confident. We tried to put on the best show we could with all our heart and soul. Every night, the Beatles played in Hamburg clubs for 8 hours straight. This practice increased their creativity, stamina, and discipline. In Liverpool, they would play the same song for an hour, but in Hamburg, they had to play different versions of it. To cover 8 hours, they also played rock and jazz. Within 18 months, the Beatles performed 270 nights in Hamburg. By the time they became popular in 1964, they had performed over 1,200 live shows. This distinguished them from other rock and roll bands. Their practice with live audiences was far more extensive than others. The Beatles received special opportunities in Hamburg and benefited from the culture and community of Hamburg, Germany. As Philip Norman said, they weren't very good when they went there, but they were excellent when they came back, different from anyone else. That's how they started. Carnegie, Morgan, and Rockefeller, historians have compiled a list of the 75 richest people in human history. This includes people from the time of the pharaohs and Cleopatra to modern times. They tried to find the richest people from every corner of the world. Surprisingly, 20% of them are from just one country, America. Andrew Carnegie is on this list. He was born in 1835, J.P. Morgan was born in 1837, and John Rockefeller in 1839. 11 other Americans on this list were also born between 1830 and 1840, and they all are incredibly wealthy. Is this just a coincidence? What could be the reason behind this? If we look closely, we'll find that between 1860 and 1870, America's economy underwent significant changes. This was the time when Wall Street was developing, steel manufacturing began, and railroads were being constructed. The American economy was transitioning from traditional to modern. All the outliers on this list were perfectly timed to benefit from this economic boom. People born in 1840 were too young, and those born in 1820 were too old. Carnegie, Morgan, and Rockefeller were of the perfect age to take full advantage of their country's economic growth. These wealthy individuals had talent and vision, but most importantly, like those hockey players, they had a special opportunity. They were destined to dominate the finance and steel industries because they were born at the right time and in the right place. Bill Gates and Steve Jobs. Let's take a look at the outliers from Silicon Valley. They got their special opportunity in 1975 when the personal computer, the Altair 8800, was launched. Earlier computer models were bulky and expensive, but the Altair was priced at only $397. It could be assembled at home, making it accessible to anyone. The era of personal computers began in 1975. If you were too young or too old at that time, you would have missed this special opportunity. But if you were born after 1958, you would have been in high school then. And if you were born before 1952, you might have been working at IBM. By 1975, IBM had become an established company in Silicon Valley, earning billions by producing mainframe computers. Those of working age were already at the company and doing well, but they belonged to the old paradigm and missed out on the special opportunity. The perfect age to be born for the personal computer revolution was 1955. By 1975, this generation was just out of college and had the opportunity to explore possibilities in the field of modern computers. Who were the software billionaires born in 1955? Bill Gates was born on October 28, 1955. His Microsoft co-founder, Paul Allen, was born on January 21, 1956. Both studied at Lakeside and were best friends and members of the Lakeside Computer Club. Steve Jobs was born on February 24, 1955. Unlike Gates, Jobs wasn't wealthy from childhood. He was adopted and raised in Mountain View, California, at the heart of Silicon Valley. Jobs grew up in a neighborhood filled with Hewlett-Packard engineers, attended HP scientist forums, and sold electronic spare parts at the Mountain View flea market. At the age of 12, Steve Jobs found Bill Hewlett's number in a phone book and called the HP co-founder to ask if he needed spare parts. Jobs not only sold spare parts, but also landed a summer job at HP. It's not that all U.S. business tycoons were born in 1955 or 1830, but their stories share a common theme. We get so engrossed in individual achievements that we miss the patterns. All these successful people had special opportunities. They seized these opportunities and made the most of them. They were born at a time when society could fully reward their hard work. Their success wasn't solely their own. The era they were born into played a significant role. Asians and math. Ever wondered why Asians are good at math? You might think there are many reasons, but it's challenging to believe that something is deeply embedded in their culture. Asians are outliers in math due to their cultural legacy. They have a logical number naming and counting system. In Chinese, number words are very short. For example, 7 is qi and 4 is si. In English, they are 7 and 4. So it's easier to remember and say numbers in Chinese because they are shorter. In English, we count 11, 12, and 13. But why do we say 16, 17, and 18? Why not say 1-teen, 2-teen, and 3-teen? For Chinese, Japanese, and Koreans, 11 is 10-1, 12 is 10-2, 20 is 2 tens, and 21 is 2 tens 1. English number names are irregular, but for Asians, adding numbers is easier. To add 37 plus 22, an English first grader first converts 37 and 22 into numbers, then adds them. For an Asian child, it's easier to add 3 tens 7 and 2 tens 2 because the equation is right in front of them. The answer is 5 tens 9. The Asian number system is straightforward. Asian children learn counting, remembering numbers, and calculating faster than Western children. Their fractions are also simpler. For example, 3/5 in English is 3/5. In Chinese, it's out of 5 parts, take 3. Even a small child can say fractions in words. The numerator is already separated from the denominator. In English, the decade number comes first for 21, 22, 23, but for teens, the unit number comes first, as in 14, 15, and 16. Western children's dislike of math starts early. Math doesn't make sense, its language is difficult, and its basic rules are clumsy and complicated. Thanks to their simple and logical number system, Asian children find learning math enjoyable. They learn it quickly and easily because their numbers give them an advantage. This explains why Asians are talented in math. But the difference between Eastern and Western number systems also suggests that being good at math is linked to the culture of a particular group. Rice paddlers. The Chinese have been cultivating rice for thousands of years. Their unique rice growing techniques have been adopted by several other Asian countries. The process of rice cultivation is very labor-intensive. It's not like wheat, where you simply prepare the field and start sowing. To grow rice, farmers must create paddies, and a sufficient water supply is crucial. Farmers build channels and dikes for water supply. Then, rice seedlings are planted in the soft soil. For fertilizer, the Chinese use human manure and other organic materials. The entire family works together in rice cultivation. The farmer's family, relatives, and friends all help with this work. Special care is taken to plant the rice seedlings properly. When the rice is ready, everyone helps with the harvest. Rice paddies are very small, about the size of a hotel room. A field can have only 2 or 3 rice paddies. A Chinese village can grow enough rice for itself on just 450 acres of land. In America, a 450-acre farm might belong to a single family. This is the biggest difference between Western and Eastern agriculture. In the Midwestern United States, farms are very large, and farmers use machines. There, human effort is minimal, and farmers grow more crops with the help of machines. Chinese and other Asian farmers don't have many pieces of equipment. To grow more crops, they put in more time and effort. Rice paddies are small, but farmers use them deliberately because they don't want to compromise on the quality of the rice. And if they need more crops, the farmers work even harder. European farmers, on the other hand, are idle during the winter. They have no work during these months, so they sleep a lot. Historian Graham Robb wrote, "In countries like France, even in the 19th century, farmers often had to wait for long periods of idleness before getting a chance to work. In contrast, Chinese farmers never sit idle. During the warm months, they make bamboo hats and baskets to sell. They repair their rice paddies. They make dried bean curd and tofu. When it's not farming season, the Chinese do other small jobs to earn money. When spring arrives, Chinese farmers return to their fields early in the morning. Growing rice requires 20 times more effort than growing wheat or corn. A Chinese farmer works 3,000 hours a year in the rice paddies. The hard work of the farmer is reflected in this Chinese proverb: "An idle man in winter dies of hunger." Another saying goes, "Don't rely on the gods for your food, but on your own 2 hands working." This is quite different from the Russian saying, "If God does not bring it, the earth will not give it." Eastern agriculture is more labor-intensive and practical. Rice paddies are a testament to the hard work of Asian farmers. They accepted the challenges of nature with their hard work and overcame poverty. Hard work is a part of their cultural legacy. Wherever they go, they take this quality with them. And there you have it, the remarkable stories and key insights from Malcolm Gladwell's Outliers. We've learned that success isn't just about individual talent or effort. It's also about timing, opportunity, and cultural heritage. Whether it's the disciplined practice of the Beatles, the early programming opportunities of Bill Gates, or the relentless hard work of Asian rice farmers, outliers are shaped by a combination of factors often overlooked. Thank you for listening to this audiobook summary. If you enjoyed this content and found it insightful, please give us a thumbs up and share it with your friends. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. See you in the next summary.